Boys to fun.
A bread to a hungry soul.
A roadmap to a lost traveler.
Boys to fun.
A living water for those who thirst.
A clanging cymbal to those who slumber.
A guide reflection for the Sunday Gospel.
Boys to fun.
Hello again, people of God. Today we're going to discuss the Gospel for the 19th Sunday in Ordinary Time. The United States Coast Guard summarizes this Gospel in one small phrase: Semper Paratus, always ready. In today's Gospel, Christ urges us to have the same attitude. Be always ready. Always ready for what? At the risk of sounding morbid, always ready for your time of death. He encourages us to live each day ready to love. In that way, we're storing up treasure for that inevitable day when we meet God face to face. It's good to reflect on this question. How would I like to meet God? We know that each one of us is going to die. We all have that same terminal illness. We don't know when and we don't know how, but we know we will. How ready are we to meet Him? Jesus wants us to be ready for that moment. We will die as we have lived, and if we've lived by sacrificing ourselves for others, then we'll be ready. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches us that when we die, we will be judged on our past, judged on our lives. The Catechism says, "Death puts an end to human life as the time open to either accepting or rejecting the divine grace manifested by Christ. Each will be rewarded immediately after death, after life, in accordance with his works and faith." That means that when we die, we will meet Christ face to face, and we will see the effects of the good and the evil that we have done. We'll also see the effects of the good we failed to do. St. John of the Cross put it this way: "At the evening of life, we shall be judged by our love." Christ's message today is to live each day as a preparation to meet Him with joy. Semper Paratus, always ready. A perfect example of this life lived well is of our patroness, Saint Therese of Lisieux. She lived always ready for the Lord. She had taken to heart of St. John of the Cross's maxim, "At the evening of life we shall be judged on love," and she strove to exemplify it in her own very brief but very holy life. Here's just one example. She described how the other sisters in her convent used to leave their mantles strewn around the chapel after they prayed the divine office. Now, a mantle is a monastic garment that reaches from the neck to the ground. It is one full cape joined at the neck. The winters in Normandy at Lisieux were very bitter, and the convent had only heat in one room, so these mantles were a vital part of the nuns' wardrobe. Saint Therese wanted to ensure that they would be ready to use when the sisters returned. So after everyone was gone, she used to fold each mantle up individually and put it in that sister's seat. No one ever knew who did this, but there were doubtless some grateful nuns in that cold chapel. As Saint Therese put it, I love to fold up the mantles forgotten by the sisters and to do all sorts of little services for them. She was always ready because Saint Therese did ordinary things with extraordinary love. So how can we live like we're always ready? If we wait for the great occasions to love, we'll be waiting forever. However, we will have countless opportunities to prepare our hearts for the definitive meeting with the merciful heart of Christ. The key is to learn to do ordinary things with extraordinary love. With that in mind, what sacrifices can I make so that others don't have to sacrifice? Maybe it's something as simple as doing the dishes or cleaning the carpet, cooking a meal for somebody else, turning off the television so that you can spend more time with the family. Pick one simple task and stick to it. We die as we live, and if we live choosing to love others, death will simply be what Pope Francis once described as the ultimate come spoken to us by the Father.